Hello, everyone. I'll probably do that like one more time for like the finale or something. Anyway, hey guys, this is Matt the Speedstar, aka the Game Rebel here, ready to run through the next part of... Well, actually, this is essentially the finale of Metroid Other M Redemption. Not totally, though. This is the end of the main story. I timed that one perfectly. But yes, this is the finale of the main story for Other M. We still have post-credit stuff to do afterwards, but that won't be until after Sonic Month. And Ridley is not in good shape here, apparently. Well, this is rather pleasant. Oh yeah, she notices that. Anyway, I had to start at that navigation booth because... unless I actually added that cutscene in with the cleanup, which I didn't want to do, in case people didn't want to watch that one, and which is probably all of you. But anyway, yeah, that cutscene happens when you're actually returning from the elevator to the Bioweapon Research Center. And also we have all these guys, and new music. Especially for the Bioweapon Research Center. Alright, we're already here. Let's see how our friend's doing. She's not here. However...
James.
Ladies and gentlemen, the last of Adam's platoon, now dead. James Pierce, also referred to as the Deleter. The evidence here is that he's here. He died here. The Deleter came to the Bioweapon Research Center. So, it's pretty obvious that James here is the Deleter. And with that, we can go to characters, and it shows that only KG, who actually is dead because he was kicked into the lava after being frozen, and our friend, Madeline. Other than that, everyone else, dead. And, once you've found James... according to Adam, the bottle ship is heading toward the Galactic Federation headquarters. Deciding that she still has some time, Samus elects to search for survivors before doing anything else. While heading for Room MW, Samus enters the Bioweapon Research Center. She sees the dead body of James, but Madeline is gone. So you wouldn't really be able to get this until you went back and saved if you, yeah, if you want to see it at the start of when you boot up your save file. I think there's one or two more of those that I'm going to be doing when I get to them. Anyway, free missile tank! It's a trap! A trap filled with super Zabesians, which I am going to super missile or screw attack or just plasma beam because it takes like a couple plasma beam shots anyway. Or two, I'm guessing, depending on how you do things. I like using the Seeker missiles on them because, you know, there's like... Yeah, you see right there? It's essentially firing a super missile at each of them. That's what the Seeker missile is in this game, and it's awesome. And that should be it. Super Zebedians, at this point in time, not even worth it. So, all that's left to do is keep going. Now, I'm finishing up everything for the main story in this video because to get to the final save point before Room MW, it doesn't take very long. I'm serious, it does not take very long at all. It only taken me this long because I stopped to look at some stuff, but if you go straight there, it takes like about 7 minutes. I'm not kidding. Also, this is quite a pleasant sight. I say so sarcastically, if you haven't picked up on that by now. That's also a pleasant sight.
Ridley. What could have happened?
And with that, Ridley's dead. For real this time. We couldn't finish the job, but, hey, whatever works. Once again, go to the story, that should update. As she approaches Room MW, Samus finds Ridley in a shocking state. Samus is astonished. Ridley seems almost mummified. Believing that there still might be survivors, Samus heads towards Room MW. So, yeah. At least I don't have to worry about Ridley anymore, so all we need to do is focus on survivors. If you do that just right, you can hit it without having to go into search view, and guess what? Returning from 2D games, Rinkas. And just like in the other Metroid games, they are very annoying. This is kind of the only time you really get to use your Seeker missiles. Come on. There we go. Good, I got them all. See, like I said, it takes very little time. In fact, I can just speed booster here. And this shall be the last navigation booth that we are able to find. No, seriously, this is the final one before the final boss. Now, I guess I should quickly say something about the whole final boss thing. What we're about to fight isn't technically the final boss of the game, but it's the final main story boss, and when you're playing the unlockable hard mode, this technically is the final boss, because everything after the credits in hard mode is not accessible. There's a pretty good reason for that, though. And I'm not going to get into it. At least not until I actually get to the post-credits. So, anyway, if you come over here, you can check the other ones too, but, there's our survivor.
No, you got it wrong.
Stay away! Stay away!
You have to calm down.
And I just like how she goes up and knocks. I just like that, how she goes up and knocks and tries to talk with her. Dare I say, it's actually kind of cute. Anyway, I shouldn't have to really think about cute stuff because it's time for our final boss.
Wait. Metroid eggs. It can't be.
It can be. An old foe that there used to be only one of. This is the Metroid Queen. A 3-phase boss fight. The first phase, you're actually fighting the little Metroids it spawns. So when you get a chance, the Metroid method. Since you know that's a popular way to defeat them. Freeze them, and then Super Missile. Or 5 missiles. Or, if you can actually pull it off, you can pull off a Seeker Missile. What the hell? That's not the one I was aiming at. Anyway, once there's like a bunch of them around, this becomes a lot harder. But if you can get them all... Oh boy. So, Metroid Queen's gonna thaw out her babies if you let her. I can also use the screw attack to repel them. Or bombs, you know, if they latch on. That's the last one. If you can get it, a Seeker Missile also helps. And now, the real fight begins. Against the Metroid Queen itself. If you get a chance to use a Seeker Missile, go for it. Oh, wow. Oh, shoot. That fire. Very damaging. And it's actually able to hit you while you're in your sense move, so... yeah. Oh man, I thought for a second I was gonna get hit there. Stop bouncing off that thing's skin! Okay. Whoa! 2 full energy tanks. Okay, good. Nowhere near. There we go! Much better. If I can do that just one more time. Whoa. Whew. This is the quickest I've ever fought the Metroid Queen. No, seriously. And yet we're still not done. But here comes the big part.
This facility will intercept Galactic Federation orbit in approximately 30 seconds. This facility will intercept Galactic Federation orbit in approximately 30 seconds.
Well, that happened. Anyway, thanks to somehow the bottle ship stopping, just hit this thing a couple times, and then I'll show you something. Something you don't ever usually get to see, and you get almost no teleport. Yeah, you go inside this thing's stomach, but I stopped here for a second to show you something. Our power bombs are activated. You need a power bomb to kill this thing, as far as I know. But you get almost no tell for it. The only tell is that you saw Samus's arm cannon glow. that shows that she unlocked another ability, this one being the only one left in the game that you didn't have. But other than that, that's the only tell, but that one passes by a lot of people, and they probably die at this point. Because if you don't kill the Metroid Queen with the power bomb, it'll drain all your energy and digest you. I've not seen it happen, nor am I planning to show it. But anyway, you ready? Let's blow this bad boy up! Sorry about that, but just that moment right there when you blow that Metroid Queen to pieces. Yeah. I can imagine she would be frightened. But there we go. That was the Metroid Queen. And we now, officially, have our power bombs back. The very thing we have not used since the tutorial for the game. Now, I'm definitely not defending the whole thing about the power bomb. I mean, like, seriously, we could have, like, a tell or something. Like, have the prompt come up. Or maybe cut away to actually showing that the power bombs are unlocked. Anything that could tell that you had it. It's not like it's not like a hand-holding thing. You're in a situation where you're about to lose all your life. In fact, in hard mode, they actually had to drastically slow down the amount of health that the Metroid Queen drains from you while you're inside its stomach. Because that thing can drain well than more enough of an energy tank before you get a chance to drop a power bomb in its stomach. Anyway, before I go in there, back in the original Let's Play, I stopped here. Like, I stopped here, restarted another recording, and while I was going through the cutscene, I had an audio glitch in a very odd spot, and I am not proud of that, and I'm really hoping it never happens here. Well, might as well try my luck, but I have been pretty good with it. So, let's finish this. Let's see what's really going on.
Don't come any closer! Don't come any closer! Stay away from me!
Easy. I won't come any closer until you say so. My name is Samus. I'm an independent bounty hunter. I know the situation here and I know how you must feel. I'm here to secure your safety. May I come closer? What's your role at this facility?
I'm responsible for all operations. My name is Madeline Bergman.
Wait a minute. I met another woman who called herself Madeline Bergman. What's going on here?
What you met was MB. She's an android. She was created with the intellectual data of Mother Brain and consequently developed Mother Brain's consciousness as well.
What?
The Federation's foolish plan. Mother Brain's rampage. Everything that happened here was just as Madeline, or rather MB, had told me. The person who sabotaged the system to stop MB's rampage and sent out the distress call had to be the person standing before me. It had to be Madeline Bergman.
MB was the artificial intelligence originally developed to regenerate and control space pirate special forces. Because we wanted it to control these special forces through telepathy, we were forced to model its infrastructure after Mother Brain. At that time, MB didn't have a human form. Before long, we started to see the viability of creating Metroid clones. Once we did, MB started to take on her current shape.
But why?
Because we needed the first Metroid hatchling to recognize MB as its mother, she had to take on the form of a living thing. With that as our theoretical basis, we were able to create the ideal relationship with the Metroid. One that wasn't based on dominance or control.
I remembered the baby hatching before my eyes. When it attacked Mother Brain in order to save me, that was the result of the kind of ideal relationship they were trying to develop with MB. They found the perfect means of control and started propagating Metroids in Sector 0. At the same time, they were conducting genetic manipulation experiments to create unfreezable Metroids. Apparently, the queen I met earlier was the first of these propagated Metroids to mature. They wanted to preserve her as a control specimen, so they had left her genes unaltered. The fact that she'd grow into a queen was something not even Madeline and her team could have predicted. Only special infants had the genetic coding to become queens.
Once our MB was in a human form, she excelled. As an interface between us and them, her skills with personal interaction humanized her to a great extent.
If my theory is correct, this is going to be a groundbreaking multi-system for artificial intelligence.
Her confidence was unwavering, and her ability to learn was greater than we'd expected, but then she developed emotions, then a nascent sense of herself. She began asserting her own thoughts, and her opinions began to contradict ours. It's quite typical for artificial intelligence to evolve as a result of self-analysis. However, there's no precedent for an AI like MB developing emotions. It's possible that her interactions with the Metroids brought it about, but we don't know for sure.
The newly hatched infant took to her like his mother. And perhaps at that moment, MB began to develop a soul. It was all conjecture, but the idea wouldn't leave my mind.
And that was when we decided to alter her AI program.
A human-like existence, but one without feelings. To make MB less than human, the researchers had to deny her that consciousness. I knew this, but in my heart, I felt sympathy for MB.
On the day we were going to alter MB's program, right before my eyes, I watched her being restrained.
Stop! What are you doing to her?
These orders are from above. Take her away.
Wait!
She reached out to me and asked me for help, but there was nothing I could do.
What's happening?
My presence that day caused a disturbing reaction in her. She was fixated on me.
Madeline had taken to calling MB Melissa. She took the initials MB and told the AI they stood for Melissa Bergman.
It looks great on you.
MB liked that name. It made it sound like Madeline was calling her her daughter. Once she felt abandoned and hunted by that same Madeline, MB telepathically commanded the Special Forces to revolt. The facility fell into complete chaos and suffered widespread damage.
MB was trying to get revenge on the Federation Army, and on us. It's possible all humans have become the target of her hatred.
With the space pirates under her control, she was able to propagate the Metroids in Sector 0, even creating a Queen Metroid. She was well armed and planning her attack on the Galactic Federation. But Adam and I crushed her plan completely. And now, who could guess where she was and what she planned next?
She's backed into a corner. And her hatred is entirely focused on you and me right now. MB! Wait, MB, calm down. Please listen.
Madeline, step back!
We were wrong. It's all over.
Madeline!
I was not wrong. The humans were foolish, and I was forced to bring judgment on them. And yet, because of you, I failed. You must understand the weight of your crime. You must pay the price for what you've done.
Please, MB. We have to get past this.
No. You will all be judged.
It's okay now. I won't ever fail you again. I promise. I'm so sorry. Melissa. Oh, Melissa, it looks great on you. That's your name.
Oh, this ain't good. I hate these things. Okay, so I need to get that guy away for a second, because, you know, story. Because I missed out on it when I had the chance. Samus finds an unidentified woman hiding and trying to muffle her breathing in one of the storage rooms in Room MW. Samus' relief at finding the woman is cut short as the Queen Metroid suddenly appears before her. Samus and the Queen fight a vicious battle. The bottle ship has almost entered Federation space. Suddenly, the bottle ship starts to rapidly decelerate and Samus has her chance. Samus readies herself for death before launching a final powerbomb, killing the Queen Metroid. The female survivor survives the battle, but escapes as soon as it ends. Samus pursues her. That's the last bit of story that we get before post-game. And now we're fighting these very, very vicious things called the Dysbrasians. Hate these things with a passion. Cause, you get hit by one of those things, you might as well kiss a bunch of your energy tanks goodbye. That's how powerful they are. And we have to fight them in search view. In fact, what we have to do is we have to repel these ones. And you'll see one in a sec. As soon as you lock onto her and fire...
Stop! Don't move!
Melissa!
Hey, are you okay? Hey, hang down over there too! I'm getting you out of here.
So, Miss Aaron, I heard what happened. You performed admirably. You can leave the rest to us.
Madeline!
Wait, Aaron. Unfortunate what happened to Commander Malkovich. And to think that his entire unit was annihilated. Truly a tragic day. Would you agree, Aaron? Sadly, with them gone, you're just an outsider. And given your unofficial status, I cannot allow you contact with the witness. With your predilection for transporting illegal cargo like infant Metroids, I must ask that you restrict your... Time for the lady to go home. Someone escort her.
Yes, sir. Time for us to go. Come on, princess.
What? Stop right there. Who are you?
Anthony Hicks, sir. Galactic Federation Platoon 7. I need to secure the safety of any survivors, Commander Malkovich's orders, and the purpose of this mission.
What?
Authorized by the chairman of the Galactic Federation. Of course.
What do you mean, the chairman?
Man, you guys made it here quick. I mean, If I hadn't stopped the engines, we might have missed each other. Crazy. Crazy how something good can come out of something bad. Whoa, didn't mean to wake her. Guess I ought to be quiet.
Anthony was trying to be courteous to Madeline. She was exhausted and had only just fallen asleep. She needed the rest. She had a lot of explaining to do once she got to Galactic Federation headquarters. For herself and for Melissa.
Still can't get my head around it. What a crazy mission.
Anthony sighed as he muttered to himself. What would have happened if we hadn't been called there? Might the furious MB have attacked the Galactic Federation and brought about its utter destruction? Melissa wasn't insane, no. One day, a consciousness simply bloomed within her. And those that caused it to bloom, the humans, called it insanity. I was the insane one. That was what Madeline muttered softly as she sank into sleep. The selfish conceits of humans drove MB to violence. It was their distorted perceptions and greed that awoke such fury in the fledgling girl's heart. Her thought was to punish the foolish and conceited. But MB could not complete her mission. As Melissa, she was defeated. With their one vulnerability overcome, the Metroids were indestructible. If some fool just following orders had taken the savage creatures to those who sought them. I can't imagine what would have happened if Adam hadn't recognized the looming danger. But the cost was far too great. Why did Adam have to pay with his life? For me, I couldn't believe he was dead. For the first time, I questioned his choice.
No objections, right, lady?
I heard Adam's voice in my head. And I knew in my heart that he had made the right decision. Just as he had so many years ago. In that moment, I swore not to grieve his death. And for the first time, I gave him a thumbs up. Just in case he was watching over me. His amused expression looked as though he wanted to say something. His face and Adam's swirled together. That last smile as Adam drifted away.
And that is that for the main story of Other M. So, how was this? I'm sure a lot of you guys probably already bailed on me because I started up this game again. For those of you who actually did, you know, stick around, yep, there we go, Yoshio Sakamoto. Producer, director, and sole writer for this game. Anyway, for those of you who stuck around, what'd you guys think? I tried to do the best I could to, explain things about the game, give my thoughts on it, and tried to ultimately create an air of understanding. For those who did watch all the way to the end, I really hope that my words got to you guys in some way, and, kind of help show that this game is not as bad as people make it out to be. I've played this game a bunch of times. I understand a lot of the flaws about it. But I still think it's still a solid entry into the franchise. And I've said this before, no matter what anyone says, it still deserves a place among the Metroid franchise. Not as a low point. Maybe a medium point. Maybe around there. I can go that low, but I will not call it a low point. In fact, it was this very game that actually got me, into the franchise in the first place. I had previously played Fusion before, but it didn't have as much an impact on me as this game did. And that's a personal thing about this game that makes me like it more. It's because this game got me into the rest of the franchise. And that way I played the original. That one I'll call a low point. The original, Return of Samus, Super Metroid, the Prime Trilogy. Yes, even the Prime Trilogy. And this is coming from a guy who doesn't like first-person shooters in the first place. They're just not my preference, okay? It's not like I absolutely hate them. And the only ones that I haven't really played yet are Hunters, Pinball, and Federation Force. Anyway, so as I said before, way back in the beginning, the gameplay for this game is pretty much Metroid. It is Metroid. Brought from 2D to 3D. It really does feel like that, even despite the fact that a lot of the controls are very clunky, and search view could have been a little better. At the very least, they could have given you a tutorial on how to use Sense Move and all that kind of stuff while in search view. But of course, you've got all the main stuff of... Oh, Jessica Martin, yeah, voice of Samus. I really don't know what she thinks of it, but I'm gonna say this right now. She did a pretty damn good job. I mean, yeah, a lot of times she had to, withhold her emotions as much as she could, but for actually voicing Samus herself, still a pretty good job. Really, maybe not totally, but did a pretty good job of nailing Samus's character without making her seem too emotionless or too emotional. Except at certain times, of course. Adam's sacrifice, Anthony, and Ridley. But it really does help bring out Samus's character as a human, instead of just being an intergalactic space warrior and galactic savior, as Adam called her. Really helps bring her more out, more of her human side out. And I really like that. They attempted to give her a character. I think it was a pretty alright. I think it was pretty alright. Maybe not the best, but pretty alright. And it really helps me not only to understand Samus more, but it really helps me like her more, because they tried to give her character and backstory. There we go, Nintendo and Team Ninja. Also developed by Tecmo.
Ultimately, the decision was made to destroy the bottle ship. A mission that will most likely be carried out in the next day or two. I'm heading toward the bottle ship now. I'm going to rescue something that was left there. Something that can't be replaced.
Okay, maybe the narration was a bit more wooden, but then again, that was a cultural thing. And I did talk about that. But anyway, while we are technically done the main story, we're not done the game. And not done the full story. But now we are able to use power bombs because there's no one left. Like, seriously, there's no one left in... Wow. Well... How is this? Item collection 87%. Ah, I missed 13 items. Like, there's an exact total of 100 items in this game, I believe, as far as I know. But I got everything in Sector 2, pretty much. I guess whatever I missed was behind powerbomb doors. Because I don't see anything over there. Nothing there. Yep, those are power bombs. That's power bomb. Ooh, okay. I guess I missed one item, but other than that, I think... Oh, that too. Okay, so I didn't get all of them, but that's no big deal. That's no real big deal. I can always go and get those. And besides, there's like two items in that one room that we were not able to get to because that was where the final battle and all that took place. But anyway, I think that'll do it. I hope I got enough said. But yeah, I really think that this game is a lot better than what most people make it out to be, and I think that a lot of the hate is absolutely undeserved. And I'm just gonna leave it at that because I don't want to drag this out any longer than I have to. It's almost 50 minutes in the recording, pretty much. So I'll just use this to save when I'm done, when I shut off the recording. And next time, after I finish Sonic Month, we will return to the bottle ship and start going through areas that we could not have access to, and see about trying to gather the remaining items of the game. But ultimately, our objective is to get to where Adam used to be. To get up to that command center area. We can't get there the normal way because the elevator is actually blocked off, forcing us to take an alternate route. So, for now, this is the end of Metroid Other M Redemption. Thank you all for watching, and until next time, if you like this video, please give it a like. If you wish to follow along with this and my other Let's Plays, please consider subscribing. If any concerns come up, I'll let you guys know my Twitter and additional info in the lower left box of the video and down in the description below. This has been Matt the Speedstar, aka the Game Rebel, and I'll see you guys next time when we run through the next part of Metroid Other M.